In the Azim halls of the Ottoman Empire, power was not inherited peacefully, it was taken. Behind the golden doors of the palace, a brutal truth governed succession. Only one could rule. He was a prince born into privilege, yet raised in a world where family was the first threat. His destiny was clear from the beginning: to rule or to be eliminated. In the Ottoman tradition, brothers were not allies. They were rivals. Each prince was sent to govern distant provinces, preparing for the day the throne would become vacant. But this preparation was not just political, it was psychological survival. Because when the Sultan died, a silent war would begin. The fastest, the smartest, and the most ruthless would claim the throne, and the rest would not live to challenge him. The prince grew up understanding this reality, watching court politics unfold with deadly precision. Advisors whispered strategies, generals pledged loyalty, and spies carried secrets across provinces. Every move mattered. Every alliance could mean survival or death. When news came that the Sultan had died, the empire held its breath. Messengers rode across vast lands, carrying the news that would decide the fate of princes. The race to the capital began, each brother gathering support and preparing for the inevitable confrontation. It was not just a race of distance, but of influence, speed, and loyalty. The prince knew hesitation meant death, and mercy could cost him everything. As he marched toward the capital, he carried not just ambition but fear, because he knew what awaited him once he won. He reached the palace first, securing the support of key officials and military leaders. The gates opened and he was declared the new Sultan. But victory was only the beginning of a darker responsibility. According to tradition, his brothers had to die. Not for revenge, not for hatred, but for stability. The empire could not afford civil war, rebellion, or divided loyalties. And so, the new Sultan made the decision that defined his rule. Orders were given quietly, without ceremony or hesitation. His brothers were summoned, one by one, under the illusion of safety. They entered knowing their fate, yet powerless to resist. Executioners carried out the orders in silence, ensuring no blood was spilled in royal chambers. It was said that silk cords were used, a method both symbolic and controlled. One by one, the princes were eliminated, their lives ending in the shadows of the palace. The Sultan watched his family disappear, knowing it was the price of his crown. This was not cruelty alone, it was policy, codified and accepted. The law of fratricide ensured that only one ruler remained, preventing chaos, but the emotional cost was immeasurable. The Sultan gained absolute power, but lost his bloodline in the process. The palace, once filled with brothers, became silent. And the throne, though secure, carried the weight of those sacrifices. The empire stabilized, free from internal conflict for the moment. Nobles and generals pledged loyalty, knowing there would be no rival claimants. The Sultan ruled with authority, his power unquestioned. Yet the memory of his actions lingered in every corridor of the palace. Servants whispered, advisors tread carefully, and fear became part of governance. The Sultan had proven his strength, but also his capacity for ruthless decisions. His rule brought order, but at a deeply personal cost. The absence of his brothers was a constant reminder of what he had done. Power had demanded sacrifice, and he had given everything, even his humanity. The Ottoman system was designed for survival, not compassion. It valued stability above all, even if it meant destroying family bonds. The Sultan became a symbol of that system, powerful yet isolated. His decisions ensured peace, but also created fear among those closest to him. Trust became fragile, loyalty conditional, and relationships strategic. The throne demanded strength, but it also demanded silence about its cost. No one spoke openly of the princes who had been lost. Yet their absence shaped the future of the empire. The Sultan ruled, but always under the shadow of his own actions. His crown was secure, but his legacy became complicated. History would judge him not just as a ruler, but as a brother who chose power over blood. Some saw him as necessary, a man who preserved the empire at all costs. Others saw him as ruthless, a ruler who sacrificed family for control. The truth lay somewhere in between, because in the Ottoman Empire, power was never simple. It required decisions that would haunt even the strongest minds. The Sultan's story reflects a system where survival demanded extreme choices. His actions were not unique, but they were unforgettable. Each sultan before and after faced the same brutal tradition, and each made the same devastating choice. The empire continued to grow, its strength built on discipline and control. But beneath its success lay stories of sacrifice and silence. The sultan's decision ensured stability, but it also defined his legacy. His reign became a balance between power and the memory of loss. The palace stood strong, yet its walls held secrets that would never fade. The throne remained secure, but its cost was written in bloodless executions. The sultan ruled alone, surrounded by loyalty but never true trust. His story became a symbol of the price of absolute power. It showed that sometimes victory demands the ultimate sacrifice, even if that sacrifice is your own family. The Ottoman Empire thrived, yet its system revealed the harsh realities of monarchy. Power could not be shared, and succession could not be uncertain. The sultan's actions ensured that, but at a cost few could truly understand. His life became a reflection of ambition, necessity, and moral compromise. He achieved what he was destined for, but lost what mattered most. The empire remembered him as strong, decisive, and unchallenged. But history remembered something deeper. The silence of brothers who never lived to rule. The weight of decisions made in the name of stability, and the loneliness of absolute power. His story is not just about cruelty, it is about the system that demanded it. A system where mercy could lead to chaos and compassion could destroy empires. The Sultan chose order over emotion, power over family. And in doing so, he secured his throne. But he also ensured that his story would be remembered with unease. Because true power often comes with a price that cannot be undone. The Sultan ruled the empire, but never escaped his choices. His legacy became a warning, not just a victory. A reminder that some crowns are built not on gold, but on sacrifice. If you found this story powerful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories of empires, power, and the price of the throne.